The sky over planet Velmer was purple, with silver clouds floating slowly across it. In the city of Harthen Prime, where alien races lived in tall stone towers, a strange visitor arrived, one who walked on two legs, had no tail, no horns, and no fur. He was a human. His name was Jack Renslow, and he had just stepped off the cargo ship with nothing but a backpack, a crate, and a folded note with an address on it. Jack looked around the alien street. Creatures with glowing skin, long ears, and strange eyes passed him without a word. Some looked at him like he didn't belong. Others moved away, whispering in their language. Jack didn't care. He was used to it. He finally found the tall building, with a blue flame symbol on the door. It looked more like a fortress than an apartment. He knocked 3 times. The door opened with a hiss. Standing there was a tall alien woman with greenish-purple skin, 4 fingers on each hand, and glowing red eyes. Her thick tail swayed behind her. She looked at Jack from head to toe with one raised eyebrow. "You're the human?" she asked, her voice sharp and cold. Jack nodded. "Yes, Jack Renslow. I called 2 days ago. You said the room was still available." The woman crossed her arms. "Didn't expect you to actually come. Most humans stay away from this district." Jack smiled. "I'm not most humans," the alien woman sighed. "Fine, I'm Sithari. I own this place. Follow me. No noise. After moonrise, no guests, no meat cooking indoors. And if you touch my tail, I'll break your bones." Jack blinked. "Got it." He followed her through the hallway. The inside was surprisingly clean and organized. Alien paintings hung on the walls, and a strange, sweet scent filled the air. Sithari led him to a medium-sized room with a soft blue bed, a floating chair, and a glass screen on one wall. Rents paid in advance. "No trouble, no noise. You keep to yourself and we won't have a problem," she said. Jack set down his crate and looked around. "This is perfect. Thank you." Sithari narrowed her eyes. "You're not running from something, are you?" Jack paused for a second. "Just looking for peace." Sithari didn't believe him. She felt something was strange about this human, but she didn't ask more. She turned and walked away. As soon as she left, Jack locked the door and sighed deeply. His shoulders relaxed for the first time in weeks. He looked out the window at the alien skyline and whispered, "I made it." That night, Sithari sat in her private chamber reading a digital book when she heard a loud thump from upstairs, then another, followed by a strange buzzing noise, and a small scream. Her tail twitched. She stood up fast and stormed upstairs. Another thump. Something fell. A grunt followed. Then silence. Sithari didn't wait. She slapped her palm on the lockpad. The door to Jack's room hissed open. "Human, are you okay?" She stopped. Jack had just stepped out of the shower. Steam rolled. Behind him, a towel hung low around his waist. His wet hair dripped water onto the floor, but that wasn't what made Sithari freeze. Her eyes dropped, and her jaw fell open. She pointed and shouted, "Human, why do you have a mini Shai-Hulud between your legs?" Jack looked down, confused. "What? A what?" Sithari's face turned bright blue with embarrassment. She took 2 steps back, almost slipping. That thing. That wiggling, hanging creature. It looks exactly like a young Shai-Hulud. Jack quickly wrapped the towel tighter and moved back. "It's not a creature. That's just me." "You carry it between your legs? That thing is alive, right?" "No. I mean, yes, but not like that. Look, this is totally normal for humans." Sithari kept staring, shocked. "Normal? That looks like it could bite." Jack groaned. "Please, can we not talk about this right now?" Sithari turned around quickly, covering her eyes. "You should have said something. That thing should wear armor." Jack laughed nervously. "We usually call it clothing." Sithari stormed out, muttering in her language, still shocked by what she saw. Later that night, Jack sat on the bed, staring at the ceiling. "Great," he whispered. "Day 1, and I've already traumatized my landlord." Meanwhile, in her own room, Sathari tried to focus on her book again, but kept thinking of what she saw. The image wouldn't leave her mind. What was that thing? And more importantly, why did part of her want to see it again? The next morning, the sun of Velmer rose like a glowing orange ball behind thick silver clouds. In the quiet alley where Jack now lived, whispers had already begun. Inside her private kitchen chamber, Sathari stared at her tea. She hadn't slept much. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw it, that strange, wiggling human thing. She didn't even want to say the word, mini shy hulud. No, impossible. But it looked so similar, thick, soft, alive, hanging, dangerous. She sipped her tea, trying to shake the thoughts. But even her tail kept twitching in confusion. Suddenly, a knock at her door. It was her neighbor, old Zarnak, with his white chin horns shaking in curiosity. "Is it true?" he whispered. "You saw it?" Sathari nearly dropped her cup. "Saw? What? You know what? The shy hulud human," she hissed. "Who told you that? The walls have ears, dear landlady." Word spreads fast when something wiggles. She slammed the door in his face and groaned. Upstairs, Jack stretched and yawned. He rubbed his hair with a towel and looked at the tiny alien soap bar on the shelf. Everything smelled weird here. Even the water tasted like fruit. Still, this place was better than running. He opened the door and stepped into the hallway, only to find 5 alien women staring at him with glowing eyes. Can I help you?" one of them gasped. Another whispered, "He's the one." They all ran off laughing and giggling like children. Jack sighed. "Great, I've become a zoo animal." Downstairs, Sathari paced the floor. She had to clear things up with the human. She stormed up and knocked hard on Jack's door. He opened it cautiously. She walked in without asking. "We need to talk about yesterday." Jack rubbed his face. "Yeah, that moment when you broke in while I was half naked." Sathari folded her arms. "You made strange noises. I thought you were hurt. I was drying off. And then I saw that thing," Jack groaned. "It's not a thing. It's a normal part of the human male body." She stared at him. "Why does it move like that?" Jack looked around, then picked up a pillow and tossed it at her. "I'm not having this talk again." Sathari caught the pillow. "You're avoiding the real question. Why does it look like a sacred worm from my planet's holy books?" Jack laughed. "Maybe your gods just had a weird sense of humor." Suddenly, her face changed. She looked nervous. "Jack, you don't understand. On this planet, the shy hulud is more than just a creature. It's a symbol of power, fertility, and domination." Jack blinked. "Wait, are you saying my anatomy is seen as divine?" She nodded slowly. Jack leaned back, shocked. "That explains the giggling alien girls." "You are in danger," Sathari said quietly. "Some species might want you. Others may want to claim you." He narrowed his eyes. "Claim me how?" She didn't answer. Her tail flicked once, then twice. She looked away. "Let's just say," she whispered, "if the council hears about your gift, you may never leave this planet again." That night, Jack sat on his bed, staring at a photo of Earth on his data device. He missed his home, missed silence, missed not being worshipped for the wrong reason. But now he was something else here. A causa. Target. Suddenly, he heard a soft knock at his window. He jumped up and peeked outside. There stood an alien girl with 4 eyes and glowing tattoos. She smiled shyly and held up a sign. "Is it true? Can I see it?" Jack shut the curtains in horror. What is happening on this planet? He grabbed his backpack and pulled out a small scanner. The reading on his DNA showed unusual energy signals. Maybe this wasn't just a joke anymore. Meanwhile, Sithari sat in her room, unable to rest. She tapped her claws on the table, her thoughts racing. Why did she feel jealous when those alien girls came near him? Why did her chest feel warm when he smiled? And, most of all, why was she thinking of asking him to dinner? It started with a drawing on a public wall, a childish sketch of a human standing proudly with a giant, wiggling creature between his legs. Someone had written underneath, "The Blessed One has arrived." By morning, it was copied across the district. Some called him the Carrier. Others called him Worm Blessed. And a few whispered, "He holds the power of the Shai-Hulud." Jack had no idea any of this was happening. He was brushing his teeth in the alien bathroom when his doorbell rang. He opened the door, still half asleep, to see a group of alien monks in glowing robes. One of them stepped forward and said in a deep voice, "We would like to witness the holy worm." Jack spat his toothpaste. "What? No. Go away." They bowed and walked off peacefully, leaving behind a bowl of strange fruit and a glowing feather. Later that day, Sithari sat in the corner market, trying to buy hot spices. But every stall keeper wanted to talk. Is he really living in your building? Does he sleep alone? Is it true what they say? Sithari growled. He's a tenant, not a god. The old vendor leaned closer. Be careful, Sithari. If the council hears a human with such traits lives unclaimed, they might take him. That made her heart beat faster. Unclaimed. That night, Jack returned to his room, tired and confused. Someone had left a hand-drawn painting outside his door, him riding a giant worm like a hero. He stared at it. What the hell? Then a small robotic bird flew by and dropped a note at his feet. It read, "We offer you 10,000 credits for one night. Please respond." Jack tore it up instantly. Nope, absolutely not. But something felt off. This wasn't just a joke. Any more. Back in her office, Sithari sat in the dark, staring at the news crystal. A broadcast was already playing. Rumors have spread of a human male in Sector 4 carrying a creature similar to the legendary Shai-Hulud. Religious groups are divided. Is he a prophet or a threat? She rubbed her temples. This is getting worse. Suddenly, her comm beeped. A voice spoke from the other side. Madam Landlady, this is Officer Vacro from the Alien Regulation Council. We heard you are housing an Earth male. We'd like to inspect him. Her blood turned cold. She answered, He's not available. The officer replied, He will be. The line went dead. Later that night, Jack knocked on Sithari's door. She opened it. Wearing a black robe, her eyes glowing faintly. We need to talk, he said. So do I. She replied. He stepped in. I'm getting offers, notes, visitors. Even bribes. I know, she said. They want me because of something I didn't ask for. She nodded slowly. And you, he said, narrowing his eyes. Why haven't you kicked me out yet? Sithari stared at him in silence, then walked closer. Because, she whispered, they're not the only ones curious. Jack froze. The tension was thick between them, charged, confusing, real. But I won't treat you like they do, she added, unless you want me to. He gave a small smile. Thank you for not being crazy. She laughed quietly. It's hard, believe me. But while they shared this quiet moment, outside, someone watched them through a drone. The drone's red eye blinked, then sent a message back to the council. Target confirmed. Human carries the trait. Prepare extraction. Sithari had a dream. In it, she stood on a glowing desert, under twin moons. A massive Shai-Hulud sacred worm of her people rose from the sand. But it wasn't made of stone or spirit. It had human skin. It looked straight at her. And then, Jack stepped out from inside it, shirtless, glowing, smiling. He whispered, Do you still think I'm just your tenant? She woke up breathless, her face burning blue with confusion. What in the stars is wrong with me? Meanwhile, Jack was trying to cook eggs. They popped and sizzled on the alien stove, and he had no idea what half the buttons did. One exploded. In blue sparks, the other sprayed mist. He sighed. I miss Earth. But when he turned, he found Sci-Fi standing in the kitchen doorway. You cook? She asked softly. Jack laughed. I try. Don't get your hopes up. She stepped closer, folding her arms. You're braver than I thought, human. He raised an eyebrow. For surviving on your weird stove? No, for staying here after everything. Jack turned serious. I don't have anywhere else to go. That silence between them wasn't awkward. It was warm. Later that day, Jack helped fix a broken pipe in the lower floor. Sci-Fi watched from behind as he worked shirtless, muscles moving smoothly. She tried not to stare. Why am I watching? Why do I care? She thought. When he stood up, sweaty and smiling, she quickly looked away. But he noticed. Everything okay? He asked. Fine. She snapped too fast. Just making sure you don't flood the place. He smiled. You're cute when you pretend to be mad. She froze. Excuse me. I said it. He shrugged. Too late now. Her tail twitched like a whip. Don't flirt with your landlady, human. Then stop looking at me like that, he said calmly. She had no response. That night, the building shook slightly. Jack rushed to the window. Outside, armored aliens moved silently, scanning buildings with red lights. One of them stopped at their tower and marked the door. Jack's heart dropped. They found me. He rushed downstairs, only to find Sci-Fi already there, armed. Her claws clicked into a hidden gauntlet, and her eyes were sharp and ready. I told you they'd come, she said. I can't fight all of them, Jack said. And I can't run again. You're not alone anymore, she whispered. Jack looked at her. Why are you helping me? She didn't answer. Instead, she stepped forward, grabbed the front of his shirt, and said, because you don't feel like just a tenant anymore. They stood still, the world quiet for a second. Then came a knock. 3 loud, heavy knocks. Council enforcers. Jack turned to run, but Sci-Fi stopped him. If they take you, you'll vanish forever. I know. You need to stay hidden. There's one place left, my father's old bunker under the basement. Jack didn't argue. She led him down into the shadows through a tunnel only she knew. Before she closed the hatch, she touched his hand gently. I didn't plan for this, she said. But now, I think I want you to stay. Jack's heart thudded. He squeezed her fingers once, then disappeared into the dark. The hatch sealed. And Sci-Fi turned to face the door, ready to lie, ready to fight, ready to protect what had suddenly become hers. It was a quiet night on VELM, or -9. But in orbit, a silent ship slid through the stars black as shadow, without lights or sound. It didn't send signals. It didn't respond to hails. Inside it stood a lone figure, tall, armored, and still, eyes glowing red, breath slow and steady. One target, one mission. He tapped a screen. A hologram of Jack appeared, rotating slowly. Human male, unregistered. Trait detected. Bounty, unlimited. Status, high value. The figure spoke one word. Mine. And the ship dropped silently through the clouds. Down in the city, Jack sat in the old bunker under Sci-Fi's building. The light flickered above him. He could barely sleep. He kept thinking of her hand in his, her voice, her bravery. Nobody had ever protected him before. He looked at the scanner on his wrist. It blinked red. Warning, energy signature detected nearby. He frowned. Not again. Sci-Fi stood on the rooftop, scanning the horizon with sharp eyes. Her tail flicked once. Then she saw it. A dark shape moving fast across the rooftops, without sound, without fear. It was heading straight for her building. Her heart dropped. She ran. The lights in the hallway flickered, then went out. Heavy thud echoed from the front door. Jack, still hiding underground, heard the footsteps. Heavy, metal boots. One said only dot, then dash silence dot s, single quotes THARI, burst into the lobby just as the front door opened with a long hiss of steam. There he stood, bounty hunter from the darkest parts of the galaxy. His armor was black and sharp, shaped like bone. His voice, when he spoke, was like grinding stone. I've come for the human. Sithari stood tall. He's under my protection. The bounty hunter stepped forward. You can't protect him from me. She didn't move, he's claimed. Under Velmorian housing law, he belongs to me. The bounty hunter laughed cold. Mechanical, a clever lie. Sithari's claws clicked out. Try me. In the bunker, Jack heard shouting above, then a loud crash. The walls shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. He couldn't stay hidden. He grabbed a pipe and climbed up through the hatch. Back in the lobby, Sithari blocked another strike from the bounty hunter's blade. Sparks flew. Her shoulder armor cracked. You don't know what he is. The bounty hunter shouted. I don't care what he is. She yelled back. He's more decent than any of you. Suddenly, a voice echoed behind them. Hey! Jack stood at the top of the stairs, holding the glowing pipe like a staff. You want me? Come get me. The bounty hunter turned but didn't laugh this time. He stepped forward, slowly. Then a strange thing happened. Jack's body pulsed with light. Blue, golden, ancient. The bounty hunter froze. No, that's impossible. Sithari stared wide-eyed. Jack, what's happening to you? Jack didn't know. He just knew he felt stronger. The bounty hunter stepped back. This is not just a trait, this is activation. He's not just rare, he's a genetic trigger. Sithari moved to Jack's side. And now? The bounty hunter hesitated. Then he said, now every collector, every genetic warlord, every royal breeder in the galaxy will come looking for him. Jack looked at Sithari. I guess hiding's no longer an option. She grinned. Then we stop running. Together, they faced the hunter ready. The entire city watched the video. It had spread through the black markets and noble houses in less than an hour. In it, a human stood glowing in a crumbling lobby, facing a deadly bounty hunter. And beside him stood a female Velmorian, fierce, clawed, and protective. Together, they had forced the hunter to retreat. The caption read, "The blessed human is real. The worm wielder has chosen his mate." And now the council wanted answers. Jack stood in front of a tall mirror, wearing strange formal clothes that shimmered blue under light. Sithari stood behind him, adjusting the collar. You look ridiculous, she said softly. You picked this outfit, he replied. I wanted you to look harmless in front of them. Do I really need to go with you? She nodded. If you don't, they'll send someone worse next time. He looked at her reflection in the mirror. You're not afraid, he said. I am, she replied. But I'm more afraid of losing. You. Jack didn't know what to say. The great hall of the council was made of glowing stone and golden pillars. High above, alien leaders of many species floated or sat, each watching with cold curiosity. Jack stood at the center. Beside him, Sithari walked forward proudly. The lead speaker raised his voice. This human has triggered ancient genetics. He belongs to science, to study, to our control. Why is he not surrendered? Sithari stepped forward, her voice calm, but strong. Because he is mine. The hall gasped. Gasps turned into murmurs. Murmurs into outrage. Explain yourself, the speaker demanded. By Velmorian law, Sithari said clearly, a tenant who accepts my protection, shares my roof, and is publicly defended in combat, is under my house name. He is my claimed partner. She turned to Jack. In short, he is no longer just a tenant. He is mine, and I am his. Jack's heart skipped. Even he didn't see this coming. The speaker frowned. You're invoking ancient clan-binding law for a human? Sithari raised her chin. That's correct. An old counselor laughed. You would tie your bloodline to a fleshling from a dirt world? I would tie it to someone who saved my life, who stayed when others would have run, someone who didn't treat me like a monster. That means more than blood." The hall fell silent. Then the speaker finally said, "Very well. He is under your house, your life, your risk." And just like that, Jack was no longer a stray human. He was now a political shield, a family member, a claimed mate. Later, as they walked back through the city, Jack finally spoke. "Was that true? What you said in there?" Sithari didn't stop walking. "Which part?" "The part where I'm yours." She paused, then turned slowly and looked him in the eyes, her voice lowered. "Do you want it to be true?" Jack didn't blink. "Yeah, I think I do." She stepped close, her hand brushing against his. "Then act like it, next time someone tries to take you." Jack smiled. "I'll try. I just didn't expect to be someone's prize." "You're not a prize," she whispered. "You're mine." But high above, on a distant station orbiting Velmer 9, another figure watched the council broadcast in silence. She was tall, royal, wrapped in crimson silk. Her voice was smooth and cold. "Prepare the breeding chamber," she said. Servant bowed. "You wish to summon the human?" She smiled. "No, I plan to steal him." It began with a storm, not rain, not thunder, but ships. Hundreds of royal red ships fell from the sky like blood-colored knives, blocking out the sun. And at the front of them was Queen Rasai, the richest, cruelest collector of rare species in the galaxy. Her voice echoed across every screen. "Return the human to me, or I will take your city apart, brick by brick." Jack and Sithari watched from their rooftop. Jack whispered, "She really came." Sithari didn't flinch. "She thinks you're something to own." Jack turned to her. "Am I?" She took his hand. "No," she said. "You're something to protect." An hour later, the Queen's guards arrived at their building. But this time, Jack didn't hide. He stood in the lobby with Sithari at his side. Queen Rasai entered in red armor, her face sharp and perfect. She smiled at Jack like he was already hers. "So," she said, "this is the creature that caused such noise." Jack stayed calm. "I'm not a creature." "No," she purred. "You're a key. Your DNA may be the solution to sterile bloodlines, weak offspring, and failing empires. You belong in a lab. Or in a royal bed," Sithari growled. "He belongs with me," Rasai laughed. "You? A dusty landlady with a half-broken building and a soft heart?" Sithari stepped forward, eyes glowing. "And yet he chose me." Jack nodded. "That's right. I'm not here to be used. I'm not a worm to be milked. I'm a man, and this is my home." Rasai's eyes narrowed. "Then you leave me no choice." Suddenly, boom, the window shattered. Smoke filled the lobby. From the side door came a group of unexpected figures, the monks who once asked to see the holy worm. But now they weren't smiling. They held ancient staffs and shields. Their leader raised a glowing scroll. "This human is under divine protection," he shouted. "You shall not take what is chosen." More smoke. More light. In the chaos, Jack grabbed Sithari's hand. "Let's finish this." They ran, together, not away but up. To the roof. On the rooftop, the city burned in red light. Ships hovered. Above, alarms wailed in the distance. Jack turned to Sithari. "If I stay, more will come. Then we fight. We can't win alone." Sithari pulled out a small device. "Who said we're alone?" She pressed it. Suddenly, hundreds of messages lit up across Velmer 9. Every tenant, street vendor, outcast, and monk who had once laughed at the human now stood behind him. From the shadows came allies. From rooftops, weapons rose. A city of strangers now united for one strange man and his fearless landlady. The Queen stared from her command ship, and for the first time she looked afraid. "Fall back," she whispered. "He's not just a breeder, he's a symbol." Her ships vanished into the sky like a bad memory finally leaving. Later that night, the fires cooled. The stars returned. Jack sat in the quiet garden behind the building. Sathari walked over and sat beside him. "You okay?" she asked. He smiled. "Better than I've been in years." They sat in silence for a moment. Then she looked at him. "You never told me what your people call that." "Part of you," Jack laughed. "You really want to know?" She leaned close, her tail brushing his leg. "I think I already gave it a name." He turned to her, surprised. "You did?" She smiled with a glint in her eye. "Jack Jr." They both burst into laughter, from unwanted tenant to interstellar legend to a home worth fighting for. Jack was no longer just a visitor. He was hers, and she was his. Forever.